Don't remember that?
Don't.
Well, happy Sabbath, everyone. Welcome to Word Redeux, number 99. Howdy, Landon. Howdy, Aiden. Howdy, Andrew. Okay, everybody's up. Today we are continuing on in the book of Joshua with chapters 11 and 12. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe. If you want to come out of Babylon, I think the next classes start Monday. C2kreport.com. If you want to listen to the Bible, go to BibleStudyTools.com. Choose your translation. Bible Hub, tons of translations, tons of study tools. eSword.net, lots of translations. You can download an app for free with the King James. Then you got the blueletterbible.org. And then if you go to the King James BibleOnline.org, you got two choices. The King James Bible or the original King James Bible before they changed it and took a bunch of stuff out. All right. How was your guys' week?
It's all right. Busy.
Busy.
School.
He played his first baseball game.
Yeah, and we got destroyed.
First baseball game. Wow.
But we were playing a travel ball team, so.
Huh. I would have thought that would have been like first, second grade, man.
What?
Not his first one ever. First one.
Oh. You mean for the season?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Not his first game ever. Yeah. Yeah. All right, we got people trickling in. Anybody got anything? Okay, let's pray in, shall we? Boop. Heavenly Father, thank you very much for giving us this time to come together for fellowship and to study your word. We're very grateful you've given us this opportunity. We're even more grateful that you called us to be your sons and daughters, to be your children through your Son, Jesus Christ, that is Yeshua Messiah. And we thank you for that. We had asked you to pour out your spirit of knowledge and understanding on everybody here now and in the future, and put your blessings on all of us as well. We thank you for that. There's a lot of people that are suffering injuries. We would ask you for healings of knees to avoid surgery. Let that heal up. And other people that are dealing with the respiratory stuff that's been going around, we would ask you to heal that up as well. As Jesus told us to do, we're praying and ask you to let us escape the things that are coming and things that are starting to happen now. Thank you for all that. Bless you in Jesus Yeshua's name. Amen. All righty. Let me mess with the settings here a bit. And what are we going to do? Turn that off. And then we got to turn this thing on right here. Right? Because that's where we're starting. Yeshua 11. Got to fix that. Turn this on. Share that. There we go. You guys ready? Take a deep breath. And
Chapter 11. When Jabin, king of Hazor, heard of this, he sent to Jobab, king of Madon, and to the king of Shimron, and to the king of Akshaph, and to the kings who were in the northern hill country, and in the Arabah south of Kinneroth, and in the lowland, and in Naphoth Dor on the west, to the Canaanites in the east and the west, the Amorites, the Hittites, the Perizzites, and the Jebusites in the hill country, and the Hivites under Hermon, and the land of Mizpah. And they came out with all their troops, a great horde, in number like the sand that is on the seashore, with very many horses and chariots. And all these kings joined their forces and came and encamped together at the waters of Merom to fight against Israel. And the Lord said to Joshua, "Do not be afraid of them, for tomorrow at this time I will give over all of them, slain, to Israel. You shall hamstring their horses and burn their chariots with fire." So Joshua and all his warriors came suddenly against them by the waters of Merom and fell upon them. And the Lord gave them into the hand of Israel, who struck them and chased them as far as Great Sidon and Mizrephoth-Maim. and eastwards as far as the valley of Mizpah. And they struck them until he left none remaining. And Joshua did to them just as the Lord said to him. He hamstrung their horses and burned their chariots with fire. And Joshua turned back at that time and captured Hazor and struck its king with the sword. For Hazor formerly was the head of all those kingdoms. And they struck with the sword all who were in it, devoting them to destruction. There was none left that breathed. And he burned Hazor with fire. And all the cities of those kings and all their kings Joshua captured and struck them with the edge of the sword, devoting them to destruction, just as Moses, the servant of the Lord, had commanded. But none of the cities that stood on mounds did Israel burn, except Hazor alone. That Joshua burned. And all the spoil of these cities and the livestock the people of Israel took for their plunder. But every person they struck with the edge of the sword until they had destroyed them, and they did not leave any who breathed. Just as the Lord had commanded Moses his servant, so Moses commanded Joshua, and so Joshua did. He left nothing undone of all that the Lord had commanded Moses. So Joshua took all that land, the hill country and all the Negeb, and all the land of Goshen, and the lowland and the Arabah, and the hill country of Israel and its lowland, from Mount Halak, which rises toward Seir, as far as Baal Gad in the valley of Lebanon, below Mount Hermon. And he captured all their kings, and struck them and put them to death. Joshua made war a long time with all those kings. There was not a city that made peace with the people of Israel, except the Hivites, the inhabitants of Gibeon. They took them all in battle. For it was the Lord's doing to harden their hearts, that they should come against Israel in battle, in order that they should be devoted to destruction and should receive no mercy but be destroyed, just as the Lord commanded Moses. And Joshua came at that time and cut off the Anakim from the hill country, from Hebron, from Debir, from Anab, and from all the hill country of Judah, and from all the hill country of Israel. Joshua devoted them to destruction with their cities. There was none of the Anakim left in the land of the people of Israel. Only in Gaza, in Gath, and in Ashdod did some remain. So Joshua took the whole land, according to all that the Lord had spoken to Moses. And Joshua gave it for an inheritance to Israel, according to their tribal allotments. And the land had rest from war. Chapter 12. Now these are the kings of the land whom the people of Israel defeated and took possession of their land beyond the Jordan toward the sunrise, from the valley of the Arnon to Mount Hermon, with all the Arabah eastward. Sihon, king of the Amorites, who lived at Heshbon, and ruled from Aroer, which is on the edge of the valley of the Arnon, and from the middle of the valley as far as the river Jabbok, the boundary of the Ammonites, that is, half of Gilead, and the Arabah to the sea of Kinneroth eastward, and in the direction of Beth Jeshimoth to the sea of the Arabah, the Salt Sea, southward to the foot of the slopes of Pisgah, and Og king of Bashan, one of the remnant of the Rephaim, who lived at Ashtaroth and at Adrei, and ruled over Mount Hermon and Salakah and all Bashan to the boundary of the Geshurites and the Maacathites, and over half of Gilead to the boundary of Sihon king of Heshbon. Moses, the servant of the Lord, and the people of Israel defeated them. And Moses, the servant of the Lord, gave their land for a possession to the Reubenites and the Gadites and the half-tribe of Manasseh. And these are the kings of the land whom Joshua and the people of Israel defeated on the west side of the Jordan, from Baal Gad in the valley of Lebanon to Mount Halak that rises toward Seir. And Joshua gave their land to the tribes of Israel as a possession according to their allotments, in the hill country, in the lowland, in the Arabah, in the slopes, in the wilderness, and in the Negeb, the land of the Hittites, the Amorites, the Canaanites, the Perizzites, the Hivites, and the Jebusites. The king of Jericho, 1. The king of Ai, which is beside Bethel, 1. The king of Jerusalem, 1. The king of Hebron, 1. The king of Jarmuth, 1. The king of Lachish, 1. The king of Eglon, 1. The king of Gezer, 1. The king of Debir, 1. The king of Geder, 1. The king of Hormah, 1. The king of Arad, 1. The king of Libnah, 1. The king of Adullam, 1. The king of Makkedah, 1. The king of Bethel, 1. The king of Tapua, 1. The king of Hepher, 1. The king of Aphek, 1. The king of Lasharon, 1. The king of Madon, 1. The king of Hazor, 1. The king of Shimron Meron, 1. The king of Akshaph, 1. The king of Taanach, 1. The king of Megiddo, 1. The king of Kedesh, 1. The king of Jokneam and Carmel, 1. The king of Dor and Naphath Dor, 1. The king of Goiim in Galilee, 1. The king of Tirzah, 1. In all, 31 kings.
Well, that's quite the list, eh? Let's go back to 11. Let's stop that. Let me fix my audio. There we go. I'm just kidding. Let's go back, shall we? Chapter 11. Well, everybody that didn't want to read the names, here we are.
Is everybody else's screen black?
Oh, it's because it's on the share. That's why.
Oh.
You can stop share, but you can't stop the black.
You can get through it, though.
That's true. Through the black. Okay. So, everybody, don't forget, classes start Monday. You better hurry. C2KReport.com. There we go. Okay, so this is basically just a rehash. Right? We got the big battle here. Joshua stomps him.
Why do that to the horses? I don't understand why you don't. Why not take the horses as spoil?
There is something about that. Maybe they were dedicated to another god. That some people theorize that they had been genetically altered, and that you have some people that say we're the smartest people ever, and they didn't know anything before us. But
we're
then
devolving. I assure you, we are devolving.
Let's see here. At any rate, yeah. Then there's the people that believe, that when they find something that looks like an iPhone encased in solid stone, there's been some other things happening before this age that we're in.
I've theorized. I wonder if Jesus was in the most advanced. I mean, and again, I just question. I don't really have it all put together, but I wonder if they were like one of the most technologically advanced societies of the time, because we're told the opposite. When they draw pictures of any of the biblical characters, are always in they're just walking around with goats, and it's you spend any time in the mud flood thing just looking at the architecture, it's like, man.
Well, just looking at the way Hollywood portrays the people of that time, right? I mean, look, they don't even refine their walking sticks. Right? Nothing new under the sun.
Yeah.
I've mentioned my theory on that before too. That's in Ecclesiastes, right? There's nothing new under the sun. What is now has been before. My theory is that a lot of the stuff that is new to us was brought by fallen angels. So over the sun, right? Doesn't say there's nothing new over the sun. Nothing new under the sun. Yep. So they're talking about the genetic possibility there in the chat. And let's see here. So Joshua destroyed all those people that came out against him.
What do you think the significance of that one city? Was it Hazor? I'm trying to remember where it was at. Where But none of the cities that stood on mounds did Israel burn, except Hazor alone that Joshua burned.
What verse is that?
13.
13.
It stood out as something significant, either particularly evil or I don't know. But they were like, they didn't burn any of the ones on mountains except that one specifically.
Interesting. It's a collective form of Hebrew 2691. A yard, hamlet, surrounded with walls.
Well, it says Hazor formerly was the head of all those kingdoms. Maybe it's like symbolic because it was the head of the kingdoms.
Could be. Now, isn't that interesting? That's something else to consider. They thought kingdoms were independent. Yet here we have biblical proof that one kingdom can lead many kingdoms. Or if you want to look at it in modern terms, one nation can lead many nations. Or if we want to modernize it even further, one president can lead many presidents. And I've said this before too. Take some time and go research elected kings. Because they have a long history, thousands and thousands and thousands of years. No, we just invented how to vote 240 years ago. No, we didn't. Okay, anyways. All right. Anything else jumping out at you from chapter 11? Negative? Okay, let's go to chapter 12. Chapter 12. Here we just have basically an accounting, right? It gives a list of the kings defeated by Moses and the kings defeated by Joshua. So it's basically a review session, right, before the final test. And that, do you see a numbering of the kings that Moses defeated?
31.
Well, is that both of them? Or is that just Joshua?
Joshua. Yeah, sorry.
I don't know. Yeah, because I don't see a final count for Moses there. 31. Okay.
I wonder where Megiddo is. I mean, doesn't the word Armageddon come from Armageddo, or am I making that up in my head?
No, that's what lots of people say.
Okay.
But the word, what was it? I've seen other people take a differing stance as of recent. That it is, instead of the plain of the Mount of Megiddo, they're thinking that maybe it means the mountain of God. You would have to look that up. Look it up. Probably the easiest place to find it is Torah Family. Steve Mutria. And that, but he makes a compelling case there. And the other people do as well. And that, what's really interesting though is the Koshen Hebrew that people have been working on, because that is all of a sudden the New Testament in certain places matches exactly what was written in the books of the prophets and what was written in the books of Moses. It's very interesting, word for word matches. It's almost like people tried to hide something, but they can't do it.
Yeah.
Okay. You guys got anything else?
How do you pronounce that city in 23?
In verse 23, door.
Huh?
Door.
No. Wait.
You on
The other
11 still?
No, the other one. The other, not the. Is it Goyim in Galilee or Goyim?
Oh, yeah.
Goy?
Well, here it's Gilgal in the
Oh,
King James.
In my what am I in ESV? It's at Goiim.
It sounds like Goyim.
Right?
It does sound like Goyim. Oh my goodness.
Wonder who translated that. It does at the bottom. It says Septuagint Hebrew Gilgal, but
Well, we're about well, that's exactly halfway through the book of Joshua today. So it's 13 and 14 next time. And Joshua gets stricken with age. So it was what? It was just him and Caleb that escaped being cursed in the wilderness, right? To die in the wilderness. Because they weren't, because those two were not a bunch of whiny complainers.
you know, I watched something. It was just very well put. I could probably pull it up for you if you'd like to see it. But the guy was talking about the concept of taking the Lord's name in vain, and he went through each of the names and like, what does that mean? So like one being the Lord is my provider, and how many times are we like thinking about how we're supposed to make the provision? And he goes through each individual one, and it really puts it into perspective, your actions and thoughts itself. Taking his name in vain. It's not a cuss word necessarily, but the way that we treat the relationship with him.
Interesting. So that is truth, man. Okay, I mean, that basically we just got a review here, so if you guys don't have anything else, we'll let everybody cut everybody loose. Nothing? Okay, thanks for hanging out.
I'm doing an interview tomorrow for a small documentary I'm making about the Louisiana foster care system. Keep me in your prayers. I'm super nervous. But it has the potential to make very large impact on the church itself taking action. So yeah, please keep me in your prayers that it all goes smoothly.
Okay, most definitely will. Most definitely will. That. Okay. Thanks for coming, Landon. Thanks for coming, Andrew. Thanks for coming, everybody, and hanging out. Next time, we'll get some serious conversating going on because there's a lot happening in 13-14. Till then, don't forget to like, share, subscribe. Ring the little bell thingy. And love you all. Talk to you soon. Bye. Bye.